everybody. This is Quarantine Day 36, and this is the morning episode. Alright, so we are entering the 6th week of quarantine, and I think we're starting to kind of see that we're starting to see this as a bigger thing than maybe what it was in the more immediate weeks. I'm just trying to reflect on that. So I'm going to read from Isaiah 18, and this is verse 4. For thus the Lord said to me, I will quietly look for my dwelling, like clear heat in sunshine, like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. This is probably my favorite chapter of Isaiah. In these chapters, God is kind of talking to different countries in the wake of the what historians will call, I think, the Neo-Assyrian Empire. I think it's the Neo-Assyrian. There are two. The Syrians are coming. They're very cruel. And different countries are trying to respond to this threat in different ways. And 18 particularly talks about the lands beyond Cush, which is what we would call Ethiopia today. And sometimes I think some translations, it's even referred to as Ethiopia in the chapter itself. So essentially, they're kind of concerned, and there's different interpretations of this chapter, but they're kind of sent away and just said like, God's going to take care of it. God's going to take care of you. God has a perspective that's, in this particular verse, God has a perspective that's just beyond what you really see in the immediate, with the immediate threat. And I think that's something that's important for today, as we look at this, is that God's got a bigger picture in mind. I'm just seeing interesting things. Took a quick look at Ethiopia's numbers with COVID, and they're very low. The global South, Africa, and this may be due to less testing resources, but what's called the global South, kind of countries that are a little bit more along the equator, they are doing fairly good, and that's just an interesting part of this disease, is what countries it's affecting, what ones it's not. It's now affecting Russia. Russia kind of had been out of the fray for a bit. So I think Isaiah is an interesting book to be reading during this time, because God has almost like a little different message for different countries as these threats, as these world events take place. So I don't really have a ton of answers, but it's just something to take note of. There's biblical precedents for God having kind of a different, using the same event like this, in the case of Isaiah, this expansion of the Assyrian Empire, but using that event to affect different countries in different ways. So, alright, those are my thoughts. Thanks everybody. Bye.